Robin to your Batman.
Let's talk about Tampa, obviously, and last night. What was, I cannot believe, if there were ever any doubt, Michelle Bachmann, on where nearly all of the media stand, there can be none now. I mean, it was just outrageous.
It was outrageous. It was pathetic. When I made my way out of Tampa, I was at I had to make a stop in Cleveland to get home here today, and I could not believe the people that they had up on CNN to react. It was almost like General Axelrod had picked them out and given them their talking points. These weren't even real people that they put up. They're apoplectic because they see the presidency slipping out of their hands. People are fed up. In fact, when I got on one of the planes today, one guy came up to me and said, "I voted Obama. I can't wait to vote for Romney." It was amazing to me, this turnaround that's happening, because people can't wait. And also with the Eastman speech, I think Clint Eastwood did exactly what he needed to do. He's been dissed all over the place. I think it was fabulous because he was unleashed, and it wasn't just him. Team Romney let any of those speakers say whatever they wanted to say. This wasn't like, sanitized by anybody. I talked to Mike Huckabee yesterday, and he told me this has never happened. He said McCain didn't let me do it, George W. didn't let me do it. Team Romney said, whatever you want to say, go out and say it. Obviously, that was true for Clint Eastwood last night.
The reaction to Eastwood by members of the mainstream media, I mean, as I said earlier in the program, the members of the media are the only people that can make Hollywood look conservative.
Totally, because he was mocking their idol, Barack Obama. That's what they couldn't believe, that one of their own was mocking the decisions that he's made.
That's exactly right. And they're all saying, no, it was awkward, it wasn't effective. I could not disagree more. You were on the floor. The reaction was unbelievable.
It really was. And the interesting thing is, on the floor, we had a really hard time hearing him because the microphone to amplify within the convention center, you really couldn't hear it. People were saying, speak up, turn on the microphone. So you really had to pay attention to him. But I watched it later on YouTube. I thought it was amazing, and you could hear everything on TV. But it was extremely effective because it wasn't a politician thinking. It wasn't political speak. It was what all of us think. And I thought he really hit it out of the park.
And indeed, the entire week surpassed all expectations. When you look at that long line of established and very exciting young conservatives, you leading the pack in many ways with your election. But I mean, look at the governors, look at quote unquote the diversity. But the beauty of it is, Michelle Bachmann, is we've been able to create these stars without giving up principle. Each one of those Republican governors, from Susana Martinez, who was an absolute hoot, each one of those are their claim to fame is they're conservative.
Yeah, totally. And if you listen from the very first speeches all the way till the arc finished at Mitt Romney, it was the same speech. It was, I descend from immigrants. My parents worked extremely hard. Nobody gave them anything. They succeeded, and we're not ashamed of it. We're proud of success. And by the way, we want you to succeed too. They were kicking it all week long, and it was the same exact story. In some ways, I thought it's kind of a Johnny one-note convention, but it is the American story, because everybody here in your audience, it's my story, it's your story, it's everybody's story here, the same story. And we've been told to be ashamed of that story, that we've got to turn into a dependency nation. And I just read a statistic last week that blew me away. In 1970, 1 out of 70 Americans was on food stamps. Today, it's 1 out of 7.
47 million.
You want any more proof than that we've turned into a dependency nation?
And that's why we are at a tipping point, because we go any further, and indeed,
we can't do it. No,
we're done.
We're done. And I think that's the good news, is that we are all ready for an adult conversation. What I saw transpire this week is the beginning of a flicker at the end of a tunnel. We're seeing the flicker of light, that we're actually going to figure this out and be that nation that we were before 1970, when we were a welfare nation.
The great contrast, the great dichotomy is a nation of grown-ups or a nation of children who are dependent.
Infants, yeah.
And the two things in my mind stick out. Chris Christie, first of all, on Tuesday night saying, look, this isn't going to be easy. Those of you getting a government check, you know what? We want shared sacrifice. We're all going to get a little less. That was a huge thing for anybody to say, a politician. And then, of course, Paul Ryan saying, look, we were spending too much money during the Obama years and the years before.
Oh, yeah.
And so those two things essentially throwing the gauntlet down saying, guess what, folks, we're grown-ups, and whether you're a college student or a senior, we don't have the money anymore.
We don't, and it began in the mid-'60s with the creation of a lot of these entitlement programs. It goes, I mean, it can go back further than that to FDR, but we're not going to get picky. When it really changed was the mid-'60s. And so you retool, you reboot. Anybody knows that. And so now I think we're going to get some sanity, real talk. And the cool thing is, nobody's afraid of this third rail of politics anymore. Now we're willing to take on this fight. It was a gutsy move for Mitt Romney to pick Paul Ryan because he said, I want this fight. I want the debate. Let's have it on, because otherwise we sink. Because here's the deal that everyone should know about Medicare. Hi Eric Clayton. Medicare is going to be dead flat broke in 8 years. 8 years. And so we asked last summer, Paul Ryan and I and some other members were in the East Room of the White House with the President. And Paul asked the President, Mr. President, we're dead flat broke in 8 years. What's your plan for Medicare? He didn't answer, he mumbled, and we asked him again, there's no media in the room. We said a second time, what's your plan to save Medicare? No answer. On the third time, the President finally said, Obamacare.
Yeah.
Senior citizens don't realize his plan is Medicare does collapse, you're stuck with denial of care under Obamacare.
Hold that thought. We are talking with Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann. Back to